it's Jackie with Clump & Stampers, and I am here to show you how to make your cards that are coming for your Garden in Bloom card kits this month. There's a few different little tips and tricks and some techniques I want to show you. I won't be completing the full cards, but I'll tell you enough so that you can easily make these. Before I get into the cards specifically, what I want to do is just talk a little bit about stamping these stamps, because it'll apply on almost all of the cards. You will notice this is, they kind of call it a triple stamping. Yep, mine are really stained. Believe it or not, that's clean. But your reds, your red inks and your pinks and purples, they'll really stain them. But so our larger flower is actually made of 3 images. We have our bigger bold one, and then some detail on it, and then the outline. Now you can choose to use just 1 or 2 or all 3. They just work together really nice. So I'm going to start by just stamping a basic flower using all 3. Now since they are photopolymer, I do like to stamp on a piercing pad. And I just kind of use the scrap paper if I'm going to go off the edge. If I'm not going to go off the edge, I don't even really need that. So the whole idea here really is just to show you how to stamp it. And we're going to use just the Melon Mambo for our pink. So I'm going to ink this up really well. Okay, I don't want to shake my table too much. So get it inked up. But since I want this one a little bit lighter, I am going to stamp on scrap paper first, and then I'm going to stamp onto my layer, or, whatever I'm stamping on for real. So it just makes it a lighter image. And I think, yeah, I think you can see on here. See on the stamp this little, almost like a tab? That is the top. So if you line that up at the top, then when I go to do the next one, which actually, is kind of the detail, you'll see there's a tab on this one too. By that going up on the top, it helps you know where to place this. Otherwise, you'd be kind of doing one of these numbers, figuring out where it goes. But tab goes up, it'll line up perfectly, just like down on that first one. This time I did not stamp off, so it gives it the darker look. And I think you can kind of see the fun dimension that puts in the stamping. And then real simple, we're going to put the other one on top. And again, we have the tab, so I know that goes up, so I know what petal lines up with what. They're photopolymer, making it really easy to look through. And there is my flower image. Now, the thing I like about this, it is kind of a whimsical one. So that one matched up pretty good. You can see I'm off a little bit, but that's okay. I don't try to match it up perfectly. I like a little bit more of the whimsy look with it. So let's look at card number 1 now. Now that we know how to stamp the flower, you'll notice there's just 2 flowers here. Now rather than 1 stamp pad, in this particular case, I did use Daffodil Delight and Hello Honey. So Daffodil Delight stamped first, the bigger image, with Hello Honey on the top. So you can mix and match your colors, or if you just choose to use one, just stamp off first. Now the leaves, I want to talk about the leaves. This is what the stamp looks like that I use for the leaves. You'll see again, it's 2-step. Okay, so I've got my solid and my outline, but it has 2 leaves in one. It's really designed to stamp the stem. Okay, stem with 2 leaves coming off of it. Well, for cards like this, I don't like 2 leaves together. I like to space them out. So what I actually did, and I do this a lot with my stamps, I cut it in half. I'll peel it off here and you can see, just cut right down the middle of these 2 leaves. Did the same thing with the outline one. So now to do my leaves on this card, I can, and you want to just, I'm using the right side. So on this one, we'll use the right side. So now I don't have a green pad here with me, so we'll make believe, we'll do pink leaves. So we stamp our leaf, and then we can take this one and we can stamp the outline. It's that simple. But because of the way these cut, you can see kind of the piece in the middle there. I can real easily, move this I guess, line them back up together. So if you want to use it as one stamp, how it's intended, you can still put it back together and do that. So simple, two flowers, added some leaves. This one is on scrap paper, so I had to cut it out. Dang, there's no punch or framelit. I know we're really spoiled by that. Get out the old scissors. And then the little one here, I think that one actually has a third piece that could go with it in your stamp set, but to me it was so small, it was just easier. I stamped the bold one, made it a little lighter, stamped on scrap paper first, and then the outline one, and then the leaves. And these particular leaves come together also, I think, yeah, they do. it was funny. I've done this so long ago, I forget. It actually is a set of 2, and I did not cut these apart. You could, but I figured they were small enough that when I used them, the 2 together looked fine on that. Add the bee and the words, and we're good to go. So that's card number 1. And then if you look at card number 2, we'll just flip our instruction sheet here. Here you can see where I put the leaf stamp, the double leaves back together, because this way they stamp 1 on each side of it. And I was just trying to play with colors a little bit. This time I used the Melon Mambo full strength, and I did not add the extra little piece to it. So it looks great that way also. Now, in your instructions, I did say it was optional to add the speckles. Okay, that I kind of like the speckles with the stamp. It just adds something different to the card. But again, here I went with my scissors. This is actually a stamp from Gorgeous Grunge. Okay, it was that big. To me, it was too big to be adding little speckle stuff on, so I cut it in half. This actually sits by my stamp table because I use this one so often. But when you speckle, be gentle. Okay, you can see I'm just touching it gently. I mean, you don't want to, like major speckle it, and you're just going to get too much. So use it, and just use it gently, and just tap a few times. So otherwise, I think everything on that card's pretty self-explanatory. Number 3, again, nothing new here. With the flowers, Melon Mambo, I did stamp it on scrap paper, then came in with the detail full strength. I did add a little bit of yellow. I guess I did that on this one too, to the center, which the stamp actually, I think, is the bee body. That sounds kind of funny, the body for the bee. And put some yellow in the middle. The butterfly, again, has the detail, the solid and the detail. So there's 3 stamps to make our cute little butterfly there. Now, card number 4. This is my favorite. I love the look of this watercolor look on here. So what I want to show, this one I'll demonstrate a little bit to you to what I did. So you're going to have a piece of watercolor paper. And what you want to do, hold on one second. I'm going to grab a green pad. Sorry about that. I thought I had everything out. So we are going to take a spritz bottle, and I like the little Stampin' Up! Spritzers. Otherwise, if you have some sort of little water bottle, and I'm going to spray my cardstock and get it pretty wet. I don't know if that shows how wet it is. I mean, it's pooled up and kind of dripping on there. And then we're going to take our bold image for our flower, and we're going to stamp that. Hold it down there, give it a little bit of pressure. Yep, it's going to give you that really messy look, but that's what I want. And then I'm going to, let's see, we need to put our leaves back together here. Use the double leaf, and we'll stamp some green. And I'm just kind of roughly guessing about where that should be down there. Now, let it run. Okay, I want it to be kind of that messy look. If they're not running enough, you can even spray it a little bit more. Okay, and tip it, let it go. And then you need to make sure you let it dry completely. Every one is going to turn out totally different. But once it's dried, then you're going to come back with your black and add your stem, add your, your black leaves and your flower. And it's not going to match up, but that's okay because you want this messy watercolor look. And then on the little piece here, I kind of did the same. You can barely see the image of a flower there. I did stamp a flower just like I did there and then put my black words over it. Now, you can also see the little gold thread I added. That's something that people have questioned me about a lot, how you do that. There's probably all different ways to do it, but for me, because I like to keep everything super simple, I just take my adhesive and I'm going to put adhesive, and I did 2 strips. I want quite a bit on there. And this is the back of that black layer. And then all I do is I stick my thread down and I just kind of wind it. It will twist and turn however it wants to go. And we'll just keep playing around with it, adding it on there. It's nothing pretty on the back. And just keep. Oh, that one didn't show. I want to make sure it's obviously coming off the edge so we can see it. So keep going until it is all on there. And that's it. That's just kind of that messy gold thread look on there. And then I did raise this up with dimensionals. So once you stick a couple dimensionals on the back, you know, that's not going anywhere. It's going to stay on there good. So that's card 4. Card 5 is, let's see, we'll show you how I did it. I also gave you a link to another instruction sheet that it was actually called triple time stamping. This one I wouldn't so much say is triple time because I only have 2 white layers. The example I gave you in the other instruction sheet has 3 layers. But what I want to do is this, here's my card base, and then here's my next layer. I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive on the back of this. Not much, because I need to be able to take it back up. And then I will just eyeball this, center it the best that I can, okay, onto there. And now we're going to just stamp our card. Look at your sample here. Ignore this black piece and just do all the stamping. You want to make sure you're coming over your, you know, your ridge here and bring a lot of it out and off the edge of the card too. So let's see, we need to dry this stamp. Nobody saw that. I just dried it on my pants. I'm really bad about that. So what we're gonna do, okay, we don't want to shake so much here. I'm just gonna stamp some of these flowers. Now you'll notice I am stamping off the card and I'm going right over those layers. And then we can come in with our black and stamp our black on there. Again, they don't have to be matched up absolutely perfect. It's kind of that whimsical look. So after I've stamped it all, I'd add my leaves and I'd add the other little flowers. Then all I'm going to do is peel this off. And that's why I said don't put a lot of adhesive there. And then we will put adhesive on the back of this, just like we were layering these. Layer it onto the black. Just center it on the black. And now we'll put adhesive on the back of this one. And then when you go to add this to the card base, you're going to want to just line up those images. You can see where they're coming off the paper or off the one and line them up the best you can, which should also mean this should be relatively centered, and stick it down. And that's how you're going to get that nice matted look like you're going to see on the card here. So those are your 5 cards for Garden in Bloom. I hope you have fun making them. If you don't have the same colors I use, it's really just white cardstock and black. So you could make these flowers any color you want. So experiment with them. And also you can use different greetings. If you don't want to use the greetings that come in the stamp set, go ahead and make these birthday cards or thank you cards or whatever you want to make them. But bottom line is have fun, and I sincerely hope you use the stamp set more than just these 5 cards. Grab some of your own cardstock and stamp pads and just make tons of cards with them because it really is a fun stamp set. So again, thank you so much for either being part of my stamp club or purchasing from me this month so that you get this card kit from free. Have a blast. We'll talk to you later.